We are going to do what we were supposed to do yesterday. I hope you guys are excited. Today I'm going to be drawing a character in Lannon's book, also by the name of Harpy. We'll also be listening to a reading of the first chapter of the book today while I draw. It's a good book. I really like it. It hasn't come out yet. It's in the works. But we'll have Lannon's on today in a little bit just to talk about it. Okay, so Lannon's, go ahead and introduce yourself, introduce your book, and then pretty much say whatever you want to say.
So I'm Big Lanitz. So I worked in IT for a long time, and I hung up my hat. And in time, I sat down and decided, you know what? I'm gonna try and actually write this damn story that's been stuck in my head for a decade. The story is the Ocypete, which is book one. So it's humanity in the far future, the better part of 1,000 years from now. Humanity has begun to direct its own evolution and explore the galaxy. Faster than light travel has become a reality, and ships are able to undergo travel to other star systems, but it's incredibly energy intensive. It takes a great deal of preparation. It's not like, Star Trek style. A particular ship, the GPE, the Ocypete, undergoes a slip transit, a warp jump to the farthest star system that humanity has ever attempted to reach on the far side of the galaxy. Something goes wrong. The survivors have to try and survive. What the hell happened? That's the story. You mentioned that you're going to touch on Marcy.
Yeah.
Command crews often have implanted AI assistants, that is, medically implanted in their cranium. Harpy's AI is named Marcy, and their interaction and their relationship is a major crux of the story.
And are you also comfortable with any questions that chat has?
I'd love it. Yeah. Questions, please, 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 please.
Yeah? Well, Lennon, that is all the questions that we have for you today. Thank you so much for coming and talking. I'm very excited. I will continue to draw, but now we're gonna play your audio. Are you excited for that?
I'm terrified by that because there is almost nothing I hate more than the sound of my own voice. So,
Well, it's great for
I hope
audiobooks.
I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
All right, thank you, Linus. Bye bye.
Boy.
Also, I'm just gonna say this right now. Bobby Sazovit, I see you in the Minecraft channel. It made me come.
The Slip.
There we go.
On the far side of the Milky Way, 61,244 light-years from Earth, the system STOSK G2M4 had remained fundamentally unchanged for millennia. On a quiet Tuesday morning, change arrived. A short distance from the larger star of the binary system, space and time began to warp in on itself. A blinding burst of radiation covering the EM spectrum briefly outshone the system's stellar natives as reality tore open, coalescing into a 150-meter diameter sphere formed of nothing. Dots and streaks of light whirled across the sphere's surface as it seemed to spin angrily in place. As the sphere formed, an enormous ship slid out of its interior at speed. Its hull glowed a dull red, then bright orange, then blazing white as it transited. The ship torsioned and shook, deflecting as though it met a series of invisible walls. The hull's armored composites ablated into a shower of dust in a futile automated attempt to stave off the damage. Its tortured frame and structure shrieked as it bent to a 37-degree angle along its original axis of travel, until it neatly failed almost halfway along its length. Like a green branch, it broke without snapping, still together, but greatly wounded. Enormous rents opened along her sides from nose to stern, and great clouds of atmosphere and water roared into the vacuum of space. Specks could be seen against the clouds. Some were crates of cargo, others were still thrumming machinery. Some small specks frantically wriggled and flailed for a moment as they too began to glow, then disappeared into their own tiny clouds of vapor. Immense forces were at work across the ship, reshaping it until it looked like a rumpled, marbleized version of itself. While one section imploded, others stretched and swelled like a hot taffy. Around the exterior of the slip sphere, stars twinkled, duplicating and disappearing as light itself succumbed to the chaos that had replaced local gravity. Still, the ship dragged forward. Hatches ripped off or blew open. Aft of the break, the bridge folded in on itself. The officers and crew there had no time to realize anything was wrong. One moment, they were pressed firmly into their seats as they transited. The next, a plane of intense gravity sliced through the middle of the bridge and turned everything on it into a soup of quarks. Here and there, a stray proton or electron miraculously survived. All around the ship, random fields of gravity, in random orientations, appeared and disappeared, leaving carnage in their wake. The port-forward cargo pod sheared off and crushed into a ball the size of a scout drone, then shot away at nearly a quarter the speed of light. Both starboard cargo pods broke free together, then began to elongate. Almost gracefully, the oblong pods stretched into spaghetti. They spun into one another, glowing brighter. In under a second, 70,000 metric tons of equipment, personnel, and infrastructure liquefied into slag and slowly floated away. 3.17 seconds after the beginning of their transit, the slip drive shut down and the sphere it had been maintaining winked out of existence. The ship was 86% through when it happened, and everything aft of Bulkhead 121 simply winked out of existence as well. The magnificent sublight engines were neatly sheared off, leaving only glowing deck and venting atmosphere behind. The chaotic gravity fields vanished, and local microgravity reasserted itself. The crew members who were still alive heard the master alarm begin to bray as the surviving reactors scrammed and everything not hooked into independent power went offline. Booming explosions and implosions shook the ship from every direction. Some sections decompressed, while others, warped into horrors of metal and blood, screamed and shivered as the ship struggled to come to equilibrium with itself. Less than 10 seconds had elapsed since the transit began. In the aft control center, Third Officer Harpy peered out from within her pressure suit. Ever a stickler for regulations, she had ordered her team to button and buckle up for the transit, and it saved her life. The 4 stations nearest her were gone, along with the wall and hull and most of her control interface. They had been torn out of the ship, but she was untouched. The station to starboard was cascading sparks into the compartment. Half of it had been slagged, and the other half appeared to have fused with Third Navigator Nelson, who almost looked as though he were asleep against the controls. As the ship bucked and rocked, she was grateful for the heavily cushioned deck chair she was strapped into. She surveyed the ruin that had been her post only seconds before. What the fuck just happened? No one answered.